so many people looked at me like I had 3 heads. And I knew at that point I was delivering value in person to a one-on-one human being. And I knew there was a way to be able to do that in a massive way by putting these strategies into place. And the fact that that's actually happened and that I'm able to teach other people to do that, and I can do it from home, I can do it, like I said, from the hot tub, I can do it from the tram at Disneyland, and it works. I'm so proud of the fact that I didn't give up, that I stuck to it, even when they were failures, because I knew this was possible. And I just cannot wait to help other people to make that possible as well.
Hello, we're live and we're talking about commitment. And something crazy is going on with my microphone. I have never experienced this before, so I really don't know what's happening. Let's try this. Okay, I'm gonna unplug my microphone. Are you hearing cuckoo birdness? The crazy. What the heck is actually happening right now? Let's try this. Is there still an echo now? This is something totally kooky is going on. The crazy thing is, yeah, so that's Mark. That's exactly what I just did. Ta-da! That's what I just did. So, maybe I should, can you hear me now though? Because if you can hear me now, then I'm going to plug the mic back in and I'm going to reset and I'm just going to do this. Man, what on earth? Okay, the funny thing is to me about this, I actually just did a sound check, which I never do right before going live. And now things are not working. Okay, it's better. I'm actually going to refresh one more time. This content is all planned out and it's going to be super juicy. So if you're watching this in the replay and you're like, what the heck is going on? Just know it's good. Wait for it. I'm going to plug in my microphone. So I'm going to refresh again and have the volume off like that. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. All right. Hello. Are we live? This is going to be my new trick. I'm just going to have all of these crazy things that I set up incorrectly at the beginning. Like I said, the weird thing to me is, of course, the time that I take time to actually do a sound check and make sure everything's working right is when it doesn't work. No, I did the sound check, Lynn, with BeLive, and I'm also using eyeglasses. And I think maybe that's what happened because I'm using eyeglasses to play that little video at the beginning, but I've used it like 3 times this week. So I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're here. And what we're talking, oh my gosh, can we just say how perfect is that? So what we're talking about, I love you, universe. I love you, God. I love you, magic forces that are at play, because what we're talking about today is staying committed when things go wrong. How to deal with the disaster. Right? So how perfect is that? It's like I get to live the example out loud. Oh my goodness. So this pops up in so many different ways in our businesses. It can be something that actually technically goes wrong like that, even when you're super prepared. So like I said, I did a full sound check. I did all of this stuff today, and I think it's hilarious, right? Things just happen, especially when we're using Facebook, because we never know. Mark just said you planned the mic going wrong. Dude, I seriously should start planning things like that. Obviously, I don't have to because they just happen. But I did not plan that. It's so funny. Okay, so the thing is these things can happen no matter what level of success you're at, whether you have a super successful business, Rico, Cam Fam in the house, whether you have a successful business, whether you are just starting out, things are going to go wrong, hands down. And so this was coming up for some of my clients recently who, you know, things are not always going to go as planned. And one of my clients said to me, she was like, how did you know, keep going? Because I've shared stories of major failures that we've had and like the things that we thought were going to be totally amazingly successful that did not work. And now having learned through those and pushed through and learned more about our audience, good to see you, learning more about our audience in our tribe and the mall stars and the BeLivers and all of this, right? And learning more of what you want, we've been able to shift things. So we have less of those product launch failures, right? We have less of those things that we try that don't work, but they still come up. So I thought this was a really great thing to talk about today because it is Valentine's Day and I do love and appreciate you all so much. And this is a question that I get asked all the time. And so I thought that I would just share lots of love with you. So if you want to comment below with the word love, I'll actually send you one of the tips that I'm going to offer today. And this is a gift from someone that I've been working with both as a coach. So she is one of my coaches and she's also one of our clients. And she put together this download of a meditation that is awesome. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is what to do with this meditation. But in order to get it, I want you to comment below with the word love. And then what's going to happen is the BeLive bot, our little automated messenger bot, is going to send you a message inside Messenger. And then you need to reply to that message with the word love. Hey, Tina, good to see you. Jeff Adams is in the house. Jeff, when's your show? Comment below and let us know when your show is. Y'all, if you have not seen Jeff's show, it is so good. Jeff, I tried to be fancy like you today with a pre-roll video and my mic got all wonky. It was pretty dang funny, but I planned the whole thing. Yay, Sherry says, I love meditating. Hooray. Okay, so the other thing that I would love you to do right now is to share the love. Let's share the love because this is not necessarily something that is only for business owners, right? This is something that is not only for live streamers. This is something that is something that literally every human can use these skills. These are things that I talk about with my kids. It's things that, I talk about with my husband. I talk about with other students that I had when I was teaching voice lessons. And I know this is going to be a powerful message that when other people learn these strategies and are able to apply these strategies, what happens is we as a community, we as humans in this crazy world, we all start to live in a place of a higher, this is going to sound kind of woo-woo, right? Which I don't always get all woo-woo, but we live in a place of an actual higher vibration. We live in a place of more love, a place of more gratitude, a place of more positivity. And it's something that in my business, The Prepared Performer, and here at BeLive, I will speak on behalf of Safrir, who I saw was here, and Daniel, that we really are here with a mission to make a more connected, compassionate community and celebrate each other's awesome via live video, right? But it's something that goes beyond just live streaming. So we're going to dive into this today. Yes. What's woo-woo? Mark, I love your questions. I'm so glad you show up here on Wednesdays. You make me your questions are awesome. So woo-woo is like a term for kind of metaphysical, like spiritual woo-woo stuff, right? So talking about a higher vibration, some people might be like, what the heck is she actually talking about? But I mean like our energy level, not as in like, energy like I have, but just like as in a positivity level. I believe if we put these strategies into place, we'll actually live in a higher level of positivity. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just remembered that I did a contest on Monday to feature one of you. And are you here right now? Who was someone that I have been down? Shoot, I'm going to have to do this next time. So what I started doing is copying Owen video where when people share and you comment below with the word shared, I want to highlight you as a sponsor of our show. I forgot to fully get all the information from the first time we did this. So there I go. Dropping the ball, but we'll be doing this going forward where the people who share, I'm going to pick one person and we'll pick one person who comments below with the word share. And then And then when we comment below with the word share, I'll pick one of you to highlight on a future show as one of our show sponsors, which is super cool. So if you comment below with the word share, I'll pick you at the end of the show. Okay. Here we go. How to deal with the disasters. So this stuff is so real, not only in business, but in life, right? Things are going to happen. And if you don't have a really clear plan as to how to deal with it, or you're not prepared beforehand so that when these things happen, you're easily able to shift, it's pretty hard. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, Deanne, Muriel, hooray, Cam Fam in the house. I love it. If we have any Mall Stars or Cam Fam members in the house, give me a Mall Stars or a Cam Fam down below. I love it. Okay, we're going to talk about this disaster zone, right? When things feel like they're just totally falling apart. And to set you up for this, so I have 5 tips that I'm going to give you, like a 5-step strategy to be able to, these are things that you can apply every single day so that when these things happen, when things go wrong, you'll know exactly what to do. Or when you're in a place where you're like, I can't believe this is happening, right? And if you would be brave enough to share whether or not this has ever happened to you, give me a yep, that's happened to me, or let me know of time that you've been in a place like this. I would love to know that we're not alone, right? When we are able to open up about this kind of stuff, it allows all of us to be more empowered, to be more confident, more brave. So I'm going to start with a little story and share with you some things that have happened in my business and really quickly before I get into this strategy, and then something that I've done recently, which is why I'm sharing this meditation with you when you comment below with the word love, because it has made things accelerate at an even faster pace. So I started this business, not BeLive. I'm here on BeLive TV, which is an amazing tool. My own business is called The Prepared Performer. My name, if I don't know you, is Molly Mahoney. And I started my business as a vocal coach. So I would coach performers to sing and also to boost their online presence so that they could have more gigs as performers, all different kinds of things like that. And I launched an online course in 2015. I think. Oh my gosh. What is going on? Are you seeing my face or are you seeing my screen? What are you seeing right now? I think I'm losing my mind. What is happening? I didn't click that yet, but there you go. Okay, so all kinds of gremlins are taking over my computer right now. Okay, so why am I getting face? Oh, you were seeing my face. Okay, I just took a screenshot because on my side I was not seeing my face. Something else took over my computer. Woo! Okay, so I launched an online course called Prepared Performer Profits. I launched a course called Prepare Performer Profits. I did a pilot of that course. We sold 15 spots in the course, which was awesome. In the pilot, it was $197, and it was teaching performers how to run an online business. From there, I went full force with this launch. And I know some of you have heard this story before, but I want to make sure that you really get the severity and the gravity of what I'm talking about today, because this is something that I have been through so many times. And by using this strategy, things have totally transformed in our business and our ability to reach a wider audience. So I had a full-blown launch of this course, and it was a complete disaster. I'm not going to go into all the details of it. If you've ever been to my masterclass about how to use Facebook Live, I share the details there. But what's happened then is what happened at that point is that we had actually 0 sales. Like, for reals, 0. And so I was in this point where literally at that point, I could have decided I'm not doing this anymore. If you go back on my Facebook page, which is The Prepared Performer, you can see all of my first videos that had like a reach of 2, right? And no comments, no likes. And I committed and kept going. And then at some point, you have to like make little shifts and tweaks along the way. But it's like, what is it that allowed me, I say us for our company, but that allowed me to really commit and know that I was not giving up. And what it really is about deciding. So give me the word decide in the comments below. the side. Yes, it's super scary. And Muriel says, my high energy is jacking the tech, which is what one of the Cam Fam members, Kayla, always says, that she actually says that I should do a figure 8 before I go live because it doesn't jack up the tech that way. Maybe I should have done that. Kayla. Okay. Yeah, just keep swimming. So, but at that point, literally, like, I had a choice. I could have decided. I had an awesome vocal coaching business. But now when I look at, like, it makes me want to cry. When I look at the difference that's happened from that moment when I had that complete actual disaster of a launch, like no sales. I spent so much money on coaching, on Facebook ads, on all of this. But all that it took was one little tweak. And I've shared this story before, but we ended up making one little tweak, launching a totally different program right away. And within 3 months, we had brought in $50,000 in sales. If I hadn't stayed committed to that, then nothing else would have happened. Like, I mean, that would have been awesome. And I would have taught voice and it would have been fine. Right. But I went through this process that I'm going to go over with you today. At that time, I went through this process and I've gotten even more clear about this process, which is part of why I want you to comment below with the word love, because I'll share a really cool step in this process with you when you comment below with the word love. And what happened recently, so this, you know, if you look back on my videos and you see that when I first started, I literally had no viewers. They were like super bad tech-wise. Some things don't change, right? Super bad tech-wise. The lighting was horrible. Everything. It's like no engagement, no comments. I was not reaching anyone, but I kept with it, applied these strategies, learned more about Facebook Live and how to make all this stuff work. And recently, I'm sharing this with you so that you can see what is actually possible. Recently, on Sunday, I had several friends text message me or Facebook message me with pictures from Shailene Johnson's, what's it called? Impact Academy? Marketing Impact Academy. So Shailene Johnson had this large event. It was 800 people at this event. Kim Garst, do you guys know who Kim Garst is? She is like Mari Smith equivalent. Mari and I Mari's been an amazing mentor to me. And Kim Garst, I don't know very well at all. I think I've taken like one $27 course of hers or something, but I don't really know her. Kim Garst highlighted me with all of these images on the stage in front of 800 people and was celebrating our bot case study that we have, which I can give you if you comment below with the word case study. I'll come back and send it to you. And literally when people were sending me these messages, I was like, I can't believe this is possible. I was in a complete panic attack 2 years ago, having no idea what I was going to do. And by applying these strategies that I'm going to share with you, it's possible to literally do anything. Like the possibilities are so crazy endless. So when you comment below with the word case study, I'm going to give you the case study and that she highlighted, which is so like my mind is blown. And the reason that my mind is so blown and that I'm sharing this with you is because I know that if you use this and you commit to it, that things, whatever it is that you want to make happen, whatever that dream is for you, is possible. Okay. So let's share the love, share this puppy, because I'm going to jump in. And actually, for those of you that are commenting with the word case study, because I know I might not have time to get back to you today, I am going to also post the case study in the description of this video. And I'm writing it on the screen, which I don't always do, but I don't want to miss you guys. So, and sometimes when I reply individually, then I get marked as spam because I'm replying with the same link over and over and over again. So this is the case study, thepreparedperformer.com/bot case study. Okay, so here we go. How do we deal with business and life disasters when they happen, right? And the very first step in this, before we get into the 5 steps, is that you have to actually know. I'm going to ask you this question, and it's so good for Valentine's Day. What would you love? So my amazing coach that I mentioned earlier, Felicia Searcy, Kelly and I are both in this awesome year-long program with her. And she asks this question consistently. What would you love? And at first, I have to admit that every time Felicia would ask this, I was like, oh, what would I love? Okay, what would I love? But really, anytime I'm in a situation where something is like starting to go wonky or I'm not sure exactly what to decide. Exactly, Mark, a bottle of wine. Perfect. Tell me what you would love. I want to know, what would you love? A bottle of wine, right? So really little silly example. I kept saying when I was like, what would I love? I would love sushi for lunch, but there was nowhere to get sushi around here. What would I love? I would love to be able to walk to a coffee shop, but there was no way to walk to a coffee shop here. And then I realized actually both of those things were totally possible. On Instacart, I can order sushi from Whole Foods and it's actually totally amazing. And there is a Starbucks that's a 30-minute walk from here. I also was wanting to have more exercise. So I started walking on this busy, crazy street that makes no sense to walk on, but I started walking to Starbucks and I've realized what I love is actually way more possible than I even knew. Right? Okay, I'm going to highlight some of what would you love. Give me what you would love down below. Lisa says to fly more. I would love, Deidre, so good. I would love to not freak out when I have no live viewers while live, right? Okay, so let's take Deidre's and let's change it up a little bit. So instead of saying, I would love to not freak out, because when you say not freak out, the words freak out are actually popping up for you, right? So instead of that, what would you love that's positive? Like, I would love to continue rocking it when there's no live viewers. I would love to feel empowered, trusting that the replay will get viewers when there's no live viewers, right? Charmaine's in this program too. Charmaine says, I would love to travel with my husband. Sherry, quit my job in 1 year. Jackie, a maid. Madison, be able to find more homes for feral cats. So good. They're all so different and so specific. So when before we even get to the place of what you're going to do with all of these things, you comment below with the word love. What I'm sending you is this meditation that Felicia created. And this meditation is something that you can listen to in the morning so that you're able to actually see and create the life and the business that you would love. And if you don't take time to actually dig in and create that vision, to create that structure, right, of that thing of what it actually is, it's going to be much harder to achieve that. And when these disasters happen, it's like crazy how to navigate, because oftentimes we're only thinking, yes, Therese, I would love to do 50K in 3 months like Molly did. Yes. So oftentimes we're only thinking of like the specific launch or the tactics that we're using to get to the end result or the end thing that you would love. But sometimes you don't actually know the path that you're going to take to get there. So if you can just keep asking yourself, what would I love? Right? And really thinking like, what is possible and what would I love? It's going to help you through this, right? Muriel says morning rituals are so important. I agree. And this meditation is actually a great thing to add to your morning rituals. This is not an affiliate link, by the way, or anything like that, whatever. I'm just sharing you Felicia's awesome goodness because I love her and love it. Okay. So after you figure out what would I love, right? Like we said before, there are challenges that are going to pop up. So you want to identify, and some of you know this already, but really get into it. You want to identify a 3-part why. So this is something that I made up. You know, it's important to have a why so that you can stay committed and all of that, right? But for me, part of my 3-part why is that I want to spread joy as a fierce form of activism. And that gives me incentive to remind you to share the love, right? So if you share this video, you are working towards enforcing the magic of my 3-part why, right? Okay, so here's what the 3-part why is. I just like to show you that you can use it consistently. Okay, here's what the 3-part why is. It is a personal why. So what you actually want to achieve in your own life. Like someone said, travel with my husband. Yeah, travel with my husband. What was some other things? Retire my wife from her job. Totally awesome. Yes, I can stay zen with no live viewers, right? So some of those things are, I like that, Muriel. That's a good switch for the other comment that came in. But so you want to figure out something that is really specific and tangible that you want to achieve in your own life. For me, it is to live a life of adventure with my family. So we are committing to this, and I'm booking all sorts of trips with my family this year, which leads into the second part of this why. You need to have a financial why as well, because if you're building a business, right? This is really for business owners, but if you're doing this and you're committed to something like this, at some point you're going to have to pay for it, right? So for us, if we're committing to a life of adventure, the financial why is going to be a really specific tie into that personal why, right? And so it's like, what do you want to, like, do you want to buy an apartment in New York? Do you want to do 50K in 3 months? Do you want to, there was something else that came up that was a financial type of thing, right? So think about that financial why and be super specific about it. Perfect. Sharon says, I would love to have a supplemental income to provide for my kids. College is coming quickly. So Sharon, if you get really specific about what that specific amount that you want to be bringing in on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, right? That becomes your financial why. And you're tied to the fact that you want to be able to send your kids to college, right? So that's your financial why right now, would be the college piece. Okay. The third one is a global why. And so, hello, the third one is a global why. And when you have a global why, it takes you beyond. So maybe, like, for example, maybe you're home and you're like, oh my gosh, my kids are actually driving me crazy. My whatever, like this, I'm not feeling very connected to my my adventure part of my why right now. I know that I have 2 other legs to stand on. So maybe when I get into that point where there's like a disaster and everybody's driving me bonkers and I'm like, I don't want to do this for my kids anymore. I really don't think I would ever think that. But maybe at that point, it's like, I just don't know if this is really what I want to be doing, or if it's even worth it taking this time away from my family, right? You think about your global why and what impact do you want to have on the world? You're not at a place that. I challenge you to think of, if there's a time when like something in the news has happened that's really hit you hard, that you've had a visceral reaction to, what can you do to shift that? And that's what happened for me, and why I have created this global why of fiercely spreading joy as a form of activism. Yes, so good, so good. Global, higher purpose. Yes. Awesome. See, yeah. And sometimes it's actually your business doesn't really have anything to do with what your why is, but if you bring it into your brand, you'll hit a higher level of success. So Madison said, hoping if I can seed at a direct sales business, it will save more of the kitties. So by celebrating the fact that that's what's behind your business, why, right? Is this the thing with the kitties? Then there's other people who care about, and be more likely to purchase things from you rather than someone else, which can happen in direct sales. They can go to anybody, right? Okay. So give me a 3 if you understand the 3-part why. Does that make sense? Personal. Oh, shit talking mushroom. I didn't turn my phone off and now it's ringing across the room. What is happening? Okay. So we're going to move on to the next step when disasters happen like this, which is to celebrate the wins. Okay, so celebrating the wins is like so important when you come into these moments of disaster. Do you like my Christmas decorations that are still hanging on my chandelier? Okay, so celebrating the wins. And this is something that literally you want to commit to on a daily basis. So I've kind of gotten away from it and I need to do it again. I used to keep a joy journal, and I would literally write in my joy journal the things that happened on that day, the things that made me happy, right? I used to send emails back and forth with my, with Safir. You like that little phone call? Okay. So I used to send, I used to send emails back and forth to my grandma celebrating our joy. And I'm wearing red today because it's Valentine's Day. And actually my grandma has this really cool thing about how she celebrates joy. She's still alive, but she's not really with it. But she was a painter and she made the most amazing paintings, and she would include a little bit of red in every single painting that she did. And for her, she had a strong relationship with her religion, and and she was Catholic, and she had a strong relationship with Jesus, and she would put red in her paintings. I never talk about religion on Facebook Live, so I don't know what's happening today, but she would put red in her paintings, and it was a way for her to know that she was loved, and that was like her way of spreading love, really secretly. Like she would like slip little bits of red into her paintings, just like a little way of spreading joy. So cool. Okay, Nugget, turn off your phones. Thank you, Christine. Okay. So by celebrating the wins and everything that you do, celebrate the things that you're proud of, right? Celebrate the joy. And if you record this, what's so cool about if you celebrate your daily joys, celebrate your daily wins, when you get into a point where things are going wrong, you can go back to that joy journal and you can look at it and be like, you know what? I had a really awesome cup of coffee this morning. Or last week, my kids said, I love you for the first time. Like, all the different things that happen. So if you are able to celebrate your wins, even in the middle of a disaster, it's a really awesome way to shift things. Okay, so celebrate your wins. And that also is about how to tweak things, right? So you celebrate what did work. And where we had that online disaster where we had 0 sales with a full-blown launch, I had to go back and assess it and celebrate the wins in there so that I could expand them. And that's what I want you to do too, right? Yes, thanks. My grandma is super sweet. Thanks, Laura and Lisa. All right, number 3. And this is something I want you to tag this person in this video, right? Okay, you're going to pick an accountability partner. Find a buddy that you know you can count on. And I have several people like this in my life. It could be a coach. Maybe you're actually at a point where you want to hire somebody who's going to kick your butt and say to that person, this is my goal. This is what I've committed to. This is my vision. This is the thing that we're not going to waver from. And man, when I first started my business, it was like all by myself. And I had lots of coaches that I worked with, right? But now having Kelly as my business partner is so amazing because I know that when we have something that goes wrong, I can reach out to her. Here at the BeLivers, right? At BeLive, we have all of these hosts who are so amazing that we can reach out to. Like having some sort of community, a small community of people that you can really, really count on. Good. Yes, and Muriel says, joy minute by minute. You can mess up and start back with the next minute. Totally. So if you have somebody that you know, you can, yeah, awesome. I love that you have a coach, right? If you have a coach or if you have an accountability buddy, today is the day to thank them, right? Maybe it's your actual partner, your husband, your wife, your spouse. Maybe it's a really good friend. Tag them in this video and let them know that you're grateful for them and let them know that you're counting on them to hold you accountable to your dream, right? So maybe you can tag them in this video. Mall nugs. Maybe you can tag them in this video and share this meditation with them because maybe you guys, this is something you can commit to on a daily basis. Like, hey, did you listen to your meditation this morning? Did you reconnect with your dream this morning? Did you focus on what's actually important? Let's do that, right? Yes, Debron. I love me some Debron. So good. Yeah. And luckily for those of you that are in direct sales, you have a built-in accountability person, right? The person who is your sponsor or your leader. And sometimes it's a great idea to get someone who is not connected to your actual business, someone who is removed, has you, that they can really help you navigate these moments when you're falling into, ooh, okay, this is a big one. And this is what I really did in that moment when everything went wrong. It could be important to evaluate the alternative. So even now, there are moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, last night I got home super late because my son is doing a show and I had some work that I needed to do for clients. And so I was like, I'm so tired, but I stayed up and I did this work for our clients. And I remember as I was thinking about today, I was like, you know what? Even in this moment where I'm like, I'm so tired, what would I love? I would love to be in bed. I would much rather love being up a little late, working on awesome things for my amazing clients that I'm so crazy grateful for, right? When I think of the alternative, that it proves that this is what I need to keep sticking to, right? And sometimes when you evaluate the alternative, maybe you'll discover this isn't actually what I want, right? Maybe you're working towards somebody else's dream and that's okay. Or maybe what you actually want has changed. Maybe your business goals are different and maybe you're holding on to it because of worrying about someone else's judgment. That's been huge for me as our business has grown because I committed to doing one thing, which was teaching kids how to sing. And it's at a point I had to let that go in order to have more space for the business that I really wanted to be, building and the people I really wanted to serve. So you got to think about what's that alternative. And is that something that would actually maybe that's okay, right? And you don't need to actually pursue and work this hard. Maybe that's actually okay with you, which is all right. But if you evaluate that alternative and you're like, absolutely not, then you got to get your booty back in gear and figure out what you need to tweak and get some support and keep going, right? Okay, this last little tip is my favorite. And it comes back to what Muriel said about, really tapping into that joy every minute. And I would love to hear stories of moments when you have done this, or when, ways that you could have applied this. I would love to hear stories if you have done this, because when people actually do this next tip, magic happens, like actual magic happens. So when you are in the moment of like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, right? I mean, I've had this life-wise, I've had this business-wise, right? In that moment, there is one thing that you can do to instantly shift everything, and that is go into gratitude, like hardcore gratitude. Sometimes when you're in a place like that, it is super hard to figure out how you're supposed to be grateful, right? So I'm going to give you 2 different options for this that will help you when you're in this place. Hello, Tamar. Hello, Stephanie. All right. So 2 options for this, which are, okay, this is really, really silly. I am obsessed with these nails right now. This is going to be my option. My friend Libby gave me these nails. They're Color Street. Looking at my nails right now in the middle of a disaster, I could be like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for these stupid nail things that I have on that make me really happy. And in that moment, I could call Libby and say, Libby, I'm so grateful for these nails because they're really giving me just like an instant boost of joy in my life right now. Okay. And by calling her and saying, Libby, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for these nails, right? That seems so silly. This just hit me right now because I look at them. But something as simple as that is going to brighten her day. You're going to get yourself out of your own mess, right? Because we talk ourselves into our own negativity sometimes. Another example, when, Lisa, they stick on. I think I'm going to have a party with her because I'm obsessed with them and they're so crazy easy. They're not hard to put on at all. Okay. So focus, Mahoney. So we had, we have an amazing course over at my business, The Prepared Performer, and it's called Camera Confidence. We have so many members here who are in the Cam fam, which is really cool. And when we welcome people into our course, we do this awesome masterclass. So we offer loads of value in this awesome masterclass. Many of you have been there in our masterclass, which if you loved it, I would love to know that you loved it in this masterclass. And then at the end, we welcome people to join us in our program. Now, there was a day where literally like everything went wrong. Not technically, because when things go wrong technically, I actually have a higher conversion, which is pretty funny to me. But things like it went too perfect and we had no sales at all. Like no one jumped into our program. And Kelly and I kept refreshing my inbox like, what the heck is happening right now? Like over and over and over it again, right? We kept refreshing and I called Kelly and I was like, did something go wrong? That is the most prepared and like pristine and perfect we've ever delivered that. And we had no sales at all. Super unlikely for us. So and no one to like join us to be able to celebrate them and cheer them on. So I was like, what's going on? So you know what I did? I went straight to Starbucks. I ordered a coffee for myself and then I purchased the coffee for the person behind me. So I went right into a place of giving and gratitude. As soon as I told the barista that I was going to be ordering the coffee for the people, I wanted to pay for the people behind me, he was like, kind of like, here's your thing. Oh my gosh, I've never had anybody do that before. I'm so excited. And he got like so crazy excited. The boys started laughing hysterically because the barista was like dancing around all crazy. There was no way that I could be down on myself in that moment. Right? You get yourself into a higher place. And then what I did, and I am like pulling back all curtains in my business to tell you what we did. And maybe some of you were even there during the actual masterclass. So what we did is I moved because I was doing the masterclass over on my like fancier set that I have on my other side of my house, of my room right there. I moved back here and I did a Q&A. I came back to the silly little corner of my office. That is why I do my videos in the corner of my office, even though my husband thinks I'm crazy. And I jumped in and I gave more. I jumped back into our little group that we have for our masterclass. And I was like, hey guys, I have loved giving you this information and helping you to really elevate your on-camera experience, right? And I want to give you even more. So let's do a Q&A. And I was grateful, and we had sales come in that night. It is like an instant shift. Instant. So what are you grateful for? Tell me what you're grateful for, and have like a list of the things that you're grateful for so that you can call that person, even if it's a little selfish, tell them that you're grateful and it'll change your mood, right? Lisa says, notice how the nails get attention in the live stream. Now more business ideas, share stories. Yes. Okay. So Lisa, it's happened on like 4 different videos where someone has commented on my nails without me even saying something about it. So totally. Amy says, you're hitting me in all the feels right now. It's so true. And it's super hard. Like, this is not easy work to have something. And I remember when we had that masterclass, I went into a session with Felicia, who, if you comment down below with the word love, you will get access to her morning meditation so that you really can get clear about what it is that you love. And I remember we had a group call. There were 4 of us on the call, and I came into the call, and I am so grateful. And like, one masterclass that doesn't go, the intention for me is always to give value. Yes, we want to welcome people into our program because this is actually a business. And so for one to go wrong is like not that big of a deal. But the thing that was so scary and hard for me about it in that moment is that it was the first time that I had set aside my entire morning to just prepare and to be relaxed and to like, be focused and all of that. And we had horrible sales. And so I came into Felicia and I was like, okay, so clearly what I love does not work, because I would love to be relaxed and whatever and do this masterclass. But obviously what I actually have to do is be stressed out and have a disaster, right? I went into like 3-year-old pouty mode, which is so not true, right? It's just that we have to keep testing and tweaking and ask ourselves, what would you love, right? Okay, so let's share some gratitudes because it is Valentine's Day. What would you love? I want to know in the comments down below, and I want to celebrate you. And what are you grateful for? What do you love? Like, what would you love that's actually already happening? What are you grateful for? I am grateful for a journal and a shift your state journal with activities and people, songs, etc., that bring me back right away. Muriel, is that something that you have, like an actual shift your state journal that you possess? Is that something you've created? What is that? That sounds amazing and like a great idea. Okay, I want more gratitudes. Give me some gratitudes. Oh, the nails. You guys, I'll get you a link for where I got the nails because I am in love with them. So I'll share them with you. Okay. If you want, Muriel, I want the link for where you get this. You said yes, but I don't know if you created it or if it's something that we can buy. Is this something that people can get access to? Muriel, that needs to be a free gift that you offer on your, needs is a strong word, but I would love that as a free gift if you can give that to other people. So good. Yes, Miranda says grateful for being in the Cam fam. Therese, grateful for people signing up for my challenge. Yes, I so love it. Awesome. Yes, Lynn says grateful for a client call in a few minutes. Amazing. I'm grateful, Amy, who did an awesome video with her son yesterday. I'm grateful for shifting into a higher state of being. Elevating your awesome is emotional work. Amen. It's hard to process, but looking forward to another mountaintop experience, which I know is coming. Dude, and it doesn't, I was going to say it doesn't get easier. It does get easier, but it's still hard. Like, I don't know if it's hard. It's still scary. And it's still something where you have to really stretch yourself and allow yourself to see the bigger possibilities. Yeah. And like something that's so important that I know we talked about an accountability partner, but when you find yourself in a place where you're like, in that, like, this didn't work the way that I wanted, don't sit in it on yourself. Reach out to someone for help. So if you have a coach, message them. Don't just sit there in the pain of the disaster. That's what those people are there for. If you're in a program, like if you're a member of the Cam family, if you're a member of the BeLivers, that is a community that's there for you to be able to share your wins, celebrate your wins, and ask for help when you have losses, right? Yes. Catherine says, amazing recovery for my transplant, my family. Yes. Muriel says, I made it. I have that as an assignment for my clients. Oh my gosh, thanks. I'll create one I give for free. Muriel, that's such an awesome way to discover what your free gift is, what your lead magnet is, because when you hear people like react to something that you have, that's a great thing. Madison is grateful that her mom is slowly getting better. So good. Okay. Yes. Yes, right. We teach it. Okay. And that's another thing that actually I'll add in here. So this is like a sixth tip. After you're in that grateful place, share value with other people, like teaching and supporting others to reach a higher state. It shifts you out of yourself. And that's something, one of the reasons I'm so grateful for my students, because I've been able to, really dive in and be like, okay, I'm going to help you to feel better about this. I'm going to help you. And it helps me when I'm able to help my clients and my students as well. So good. Yes. What would I love? I would love to be able to pay for my daughter's college. I'm grateful for a husband that supports me 100%. I'm grateful for all my young sisters here and my coaches in a secret group, my coach's secret group, a safe place to find a solution. Michaela Leyland. I love it. Tamar, I'm grateful for having you, Molly Mahoney, having a heart to help us who want to share Daddy's awesomeness in us with those who need you. So good, Tamar. And like I've said, your videos are just so primed to affect so many people and making such a difference in the world. I love it. Yeah. And then you have to walk your talk, right? So you don't want to teach this stuff to other people and not actually do it yourself. And for me, one of the best ways to be like the accountability partner thing is to actually hold others accountable so that I end up doing it too. Yeah. It's like we lift as we climb. All right. I am going to wrap this up for today. It has been amazing to be here with you. One more little shout out to BeLive TV, which is how we're making all this magic happen. They have super fun frames available today. Check this out. You can also get a free trial of BeLive TV when you comment below with the word love. Oh, we're not showing this. That's my little agenda. You can add your own frames, all kinds of magical things like this and like this. So cool. I love it. Yes, accountability is priceless. Oh my gosh. Okay. It has been awesome. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And next week, I'm actually going to be on a cruise. For those of you that are still watching live, I'm going to be on a cruise. So I'm thinking up something that is like fun and different to do, because I don't think that I'll be able to have, don't think I'll be able to have strong enough Wi-Fi, but I'm going to try and come up with something that's like a special thing just for the BeLivers that I can pre-schedule and have ready to go, even though I'm not actually able to go live. So if there's something that's like a burning question that you would love to have solved, go ahead and comment below with what that question is, what that strategy that you really need in place, because I would love to jump on and solve it for you magically while I'm at sea next week. Super fun. Okay. This has been awesome. Thank you. Mwah, mwah. Love to you. Comment below with the word love to get access to that awesome meditation that I mentioned and to a free trial of BeLive. It is my absolute joy to be here with you on a weekly basis, Wednesdays at noon noon Pacific at BeLive TV, as we sift through all of the things that it takes to really be able to have confidence on camera, share your value with your audience, to unlock your inner awesome and elevate it with the magic of Facebook Live so that you can go out and make the world a better place. I'm so grateful for you. Happy Valentine's Day.